Hi, welcome to our lesson 7 for the subject UCSP. And in this lesson, we will be talking about how society is being organized. And for this lesson, we will be talking about the different groups and networks that are present in our lives. So, we already know that society is composed of different people or numerous people. Now, in a certain society, there are also different groups that encompass it, and sometimes or oftentimes these groups are associated to us. And each member of the society or each individual who exists in a certain society is also a member and is also linked to different networks that are associated with other people. Now, before we deal in with the different types of groups and networks, let us first define what group is. Now, when we say group, this is basically defined as any number of people with similar norms, values, and expectations who interact with one another on a regular basis. So, simply put it, there are at least three essential variables or essential factors for a certain set of people or a certain number of people to be considered as a group. First thing is that this number of people should have similar norms, values, and expectations. Meaning to say, you could only call a certain number of people who are together if they act the same way, or maybe they share the same values, or they expect something from one another. Now, another variable is that this number of people can only be called a group if they interact with one another. Meaning to say, we cannot call a group of people or a number of people who are placed in a room together if they are not interacting with one another. And finally, the interaction has to happen on a regular basis, meaning to say it has to happen frequently over a course of time. Now, for this lesson, we will be talking about the different types of groups. We have the in group and out groups. We also have the primary and secondary groups, as well as the reference groups. Starting with the primary and secondary groups, which were proposed by an American sociologist named Charles Horton Cooley. Now, Cooley proposed that there are only two groups that encompass a person, and this is what we call the primary and secondary group. First off, we have the primary groups. Now, the primary groups are the people who play the most critical roles in our lives, and they are fairly small and is made up of individuals who generally engage face to face in long-term emotional ways. And technically, people who belong in your primary groups have emotional needs. Therefore, their function is expressive in nature. So, what does this mean? Basically, when we say primary groups, these are the people that you go to whenever you need something. Sometimes it's emotionally. No, these are the people that you can easily share your problems with. Sometimes these are the people that you open up to whenever you are struggling in something. And the primary group has emotional attachment. Okay? Again, remember that when we are talking about primary groups, we have emotional attachment to them. Now, who do you think are the people that can be considered as members of our primary groups? Of course, no. Maybe we have our parents, our family, sometimes your closest friends. Others would have their partners or even their boyfriends and their girlfriends as their primary group. The second one is the secondary group. Now, if in the primary group, they are composed of relatively smaller number of people. In the secondary group, this is often larger and impersonal. Now, you are together in a certain group simply because you have a task to perform, meaning to say, your group is task focused and at the same time, it is time limited, meaning to say, you're only together because you have to perform something, you have to do something, and at the same time, it is bounded by time. It is time limited. And if the primary group was have emotional or expressive functions. Here in the secondary group, it has instrumental functions. So what does it say? Basically, in the primary groups, you are together or you consider them to be a part of your primary group because you rely to them for emotional support. Here in the secondary group, you are just together simply because you have to do something. Examples of primary groups are your classmates. So, of course, not everyone in your class is your friend, or maybe not everyone who is in your class today is the classmates that you dreamt of having. However, since you are placed or you're assigned in that certain section, of course, you have to work together on tasks that are assigned to you by the teacher. Another example of secondary groups is your group mates in maybe class activities. There are some of your group mates which you do not like. Okay? Some of them you feel as if are burden to your group, especially if they are no longer performing. However, since you were assigned into that group and you have to finish a certain task, say for example, you have to finish your practical research one. Therefore, you have no choice but to do it. Okay? You have no choice but to be with them. And that's the difference between primary and secondary group. Now, the question is it possible for a secondary group to become a member or a part of your primary group? Do you think it's possible? Okay. Now the good thing about um Cooley's primary and secondary group is that it is not bounded by strict limitations. What does it mean? It means to say that maybe at the beginning of your class, the people who are sitting next to you or who are your seatmates were strangers to you. So technically, they were just your secondary groups. You were just there, you were together because you have to do something, you have to learn together. However, as time passes and you interacted with them regularly, these people who started as your secondary groups might over time develop and become your primary groups as they become closer to you. Okay, next up, we also have here William Sumner. So William Sumner is another American sociologist. Now, if Cooley proposed um, primary and secondary group, for William Sumner, he developed the concepts of in-group and out-group. Now, what is in-group? Basically, in-group is defined as a group that an individual feels that he belongs to and he believes it to be an integral part of who he is. Basically, when we say in-group, these are the people that you share the same vibes with mo ni ang mga tao nga kana bitang feel nimo belong kay kanila, makasinabot nimo sila. So the people nga dali nimo magkasinabot, magkuyog mo because you share the same interests or the same hobbies are called in-group. While the other one is out-group. Now, when we say out-group, this is basically defined as a group someone doesn't belong to, or often these are the groups that we feel disdain or competition in a relationship. Now, kung si in-group, these are the people nga naka-vibes nimo, dali kay nimo makasinabot, you share the same hobbies or interests. Si out-group pod, these are the people that you do not like. Mo ni yung mga tao nga kung kuyog nimo kay dili jud mo magkasinabot or you do not feel like you share the same energy, you do not share the same hobbies or maybe you don't share the same interests. So kung si in group, they are the people nga feel nimo belong kay ka. Si out group pod kay they are the people that you do not like. And sometimes even though we do not like or even though we do not feel as if we do not like them, no, there are also times that people who are in your out group are the people nga feel nimo you're always competing with them. Kanang whenever you are together kay ma-feel gid nimo nga nagkompetensya mo no and you are not at ease about it. Okay? Now, the third group is the reference group. Now, when we say reference group, this is defined as a group that people compare themselves to. It provides a standard of measurement, and reference groups help guide our behavior and establish our social norms. So basically, kung muan na taog reference group, these are sometimes referred to as your role models. Mao ni ang mga tao nga gusto nimo sundon. Gusto ka mahimo nga sila. And because they are your reference group, you want to be like them in the future. There are times that you act like them, you talk like them, you follow the way that they style themselves, and you also strive to earn the same skills that they have. For example, if imong idol kay si Stephen Curry. So, maybe since you want to be an NBA player in the future, kada maglakaw ka mo, fast break ka. No? Or maybe you like Marian Rivera, so you dress the same way that she does. Now, the reference group are important because again, they provide a standard of measurement, okay? And a guide for our behavior. Meaning to say, it is important that you have good reference group. Because if you do not have good reference group, of course, you will steer away from um, the normal or the norms. No? So kung ang imuhang role model kay kato po mga badlungon kayo, of course, you would become a badlungon no or a defiant or a deviant in our society. Okay? Now we are already done talking with the different kinds of groups. Again, we have the primary and secondary groups. We also have the in-group and out-group and also the reference group. Now let us go with the networks or also referred to as social networks. Now, in the contemporary world, social networks is referred to as social media sites, no social networking sites where you meet people like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, maybe LinkedIn or TikTok. However, in the sociological aspects, social networks is defined as a set of relationships that link an individual to other individuals. So what does it mean? Ang giingon sa social network is that kita kuno individuals. We are linked to various numbers of people. No, sometimes wala ta kahibaw nga kanang the people di ay that we are together with no kay we have a link with them. Na di tay kaila nga kaila nila, no? And this is what network or social networks mean. Basically, it emphasizes that there is a link between the different number of people that are living in a certain society. Now, not all links in the social network are close to each other. That is why we have two different ties or two different links in social networks. First, we have the strong ties. Now, strong ties are similar to the people in your primary group. No, these are the people that you know and have regular contact with, and often they are close family members and friends. So basically, you have strong ties with people nga per minimum ka istorya, per minimum ka atubang, kanang suod kay nimo. No, now, the strong ties allow you to have people that you trust and feel connected with. And similar to the primary group, people who have strong ties with you can provide you with emotional support if you are facing a crisis. So, of course, if you have strong ties, you are more open to kind of sharing with them your problems or maybe the adversities that you are facing. And with that, of course, they can provide you with emotional support, maybe some help in deciding over things that you are having trouble with. The second one is weak ties. Now, although weak ties are people that belong further in your network, meaning to say, si weak ties kay mo niya mga tao nga, dili nimo suod, maybe kaila lang nimo, kaila sa imong kaila. So, basically, you do not have a strong relationship with them. You do not have a close relationship with them. However, weak ties are still very important. Nga naman, because sometimes, um, weak ties are the ones that provide us with access to opportunities that you do not have, but they have through connections or informations which you do not have access to. Example, aning weak ties no nga makatabang nato is kana bitang backer system. Kakuan mo ng example, someone is applying for work niya. Pila na siya nang apply pero wala gyud siya nadawat sa trabaho no niya. Ang iya ba ang manicurista ba dayron sa iyang mama kay ating manicure pud sa kumare, sa manager sa kumpanya nga iyang gi-applyan. Now, you do not have, if you were the person who are applying, you do not have a strong connection with the manicurista of your mama, no? More importantly, maybe this manicurista do not have strong ties with the manager of that company that you were applying to. But because of weak ties, because of the links between these people, pwede nga pag-share sa imong mama nga, akong anak, nang-apply yun, pero wala madawat. No, so, kanang maybe this manicurista will talk to her other customer. Mo na siyang akong bisan dili mo igagaw kay ang kunon kanya igagaw no mo ana din nga kanang ako igagaw no kay nang-apply pero wala gid dawat sa company. And then that customer of your mom's manicurista would talk to her friend who was the manager so that you would be hired to that certain company, no? So ingon na si Tay, sometimes um although they are not very close to us, they often share or they are often the ones who helps you to access information or connections which you do not have. For example, kanang mo ana nga, huy, pasudlo ko dira ang niya mo din, sige, kay na kaila ang amiga sa igagaw sa akong mama. No, so these weak ties, although they are very far from you, helps you to access these um, opportunities or information which you cannot access given the networks that you have. Okay. Anyways, we're already done talking about networks and groups. Now let us proceed with network homophily. Now, what is network homophily? Basically, it is a principle that a contact between similar people occurs at a higher rate than among the similar people. So, basically, what is network homophily? What it means is that kita ko no usually we interact with people who are similar to us. Nang dili kay ta makig-interact sa mga tao nga dili kayo nato similar, no? So, come to think of it, kanang mga classmates nimo nga katapad nimo karon, are those really your assigned seatmates at the start of the school year? Okay, some kay dili no kay nagbuot na sa seat plan, pero if you stick with the seat plan no, how about the people that you go to canteen with or the people nga kadungan nimo gawa sa gate sa Padre Pio? How will you describe this them? Are they very similar to you or di gyud mo magkasinabot lahi gyud mo? Okay, oftentimes no, or maybe all time, these people that you are interacting with are the same people who are very similar to you. Maybe they have the same behavior, they have the same manners, they have the same attitudes, maybe the same expectations or the same goals. So basically, sa network homophily, ningon siya, Nikita people, we are drawn to interact with people that are very similar to us. And oftentimes, we would avoid interacting with people who are different from us. Okay? Now, there are four reasons as to why network homophily occurs. First one is geographic location. Of course, we want to be close to the people that are similar to us. And sometimes the people that are most similar to us or the nearest to us are those that are very similar to us. No? So technically, because of geographic location, we tend to interact with people who are very close to us. Mo na nga, kamo kay ganahan mo inyong katapad kay inyong amiga kay kamo man ang magka sinabot. The second reason is internet and other technological advancements now or developments. Now, dili na limit si geographic location for interacting with other people, no, because of the internet and technological advancements, we can now interact with people that are very far from us. Kanang mo na ang uban no kay naka-affam, dali kayo kanang makapag og kanang mga ka-chatmate even though nara kag Cebu imong ka-chat kay naag Manila, naag Mindanao, all over the Philippines, no, mula Batanes hanggang Hulo. Now, how is it possible? It is no longer possible with geographic locations. Is layo man mo. This is made possible with internet and technological advancements. Sama ra gud na sa inyong Facebook page. I mean, Facebook account. Most of you, if not all, kaya naman gipang joinan nga mga groups. Now, of course, the people that are a member of these groups, kay dili na tanan taga Danau, dili na tanan silingan nimo, no? However, these groups that you joined are the groups that are similar to you, no? Namoy, you have something in common. For example, ako, I have several Facebook groups. Example, I joined the BTS Army group since I'm a fan of BTS. At the same time, I also joined a Haikyuu fans club Facebook page because I'm a fan of Haikyuu, obviously. At the same time, karon kay I'm contemplating whether to join the Apothecary Diaries Facebook group since I'm currently being hooked to it. No, so sama ra sa na ninyo if you play ML, of course, ang iyong joinan nga Facebook group ka na ginang mga ML. No, kung hilig mo og motor, of course, maybe you would join Facebook groups about motor riders or maybe ka mga bayansa sa mga motor parts. So technically, the people that you are interacting with in the internet and through technology, although they are physically not close to you, geographically not close to you, because of internet and because you have something in common, you are interacting. Next, the third reason is our families. Of course, our families, um, often they are the same race or ethnicity and religion to us, no? And since our families are often of the same ethnicity or religion or maybe belief as ours, of course, the networks that we would be engaging to are very similar to us. No, wala pa ko kadungog nga na family nga ang papa Muslim, ang mama Katoliko, ang kinamagwang ang anak Iglesia ni Cristo, ang ikaduha kay saksi ni Jehovah, ang ikatulo kay kanang Jesus reigns or Seventh-day Adventist. No, wala pag yun. I think it's a very rare occurrence if there's family like that. However, as I've said, since our family is a very similar or are very similar people to us, of course, they would lead us into interacting with people who are also similar to us, therefore creating network homophily. And lastly, we have schools. Of course, kaning mga tao nga mga eskwela sa eskwelahan, mo gini sila mga taga-dugol, no? But especially kamo no, most of you wala siguro ninyo no ang nang eskwela nga kanang taga buta taga Asturias ka nya magulian ka kada hapon eskwela kag Padre Pio kay half day. No, wala. So most of the time, the people who are studying in a certain school are those that are from the same neighborhoods. Meaning to say taga ngadto. And because they are from the same neighborhoods, of course, they are similar people or could be similar people, therefore becoming also a source of homophily. So again, let us have a short recap. There are four reasons as to why network homophily occurs. First, we have geographic location. Second, we have technology and uh, technological advancements and internet. Third, we have our families. And finally, we have the schools. Okay, so I hope you understand the discussion, and if you do, I have prepared here some set of questions or drills that you could answer while watching this video. Okay? Okay, let us start with the very first question. So this refers to a set of relationships that link an individual to other individuals. Is it groups or networks? Okay, so what's your answer? Is, of course, it is groups. Okay, next question. He developed the concepts of in-group and out-group. Is it Sumner or Cooley? Okay, that's right. The answer is William Sumner. Moving on, the third question. A group someone doesn't belong to, often they feel disdain or competition in this relationship. Is it in group or out group? Okay, very good. Of course, it is out group. Okay, moving on. The fourth question is, this is a group that someone or that people compare themselves to as it provides a standard of measurement. Is it the reference or networks? Okay, very good. No, it is reference, of course. How about this one? He suggested that groups can be divided into two, primary and secondary group. Was it Cooley or Sumner who suggested this division? Okay, well done. No, it was Charles Sherman Cooley. Next up, they serve instrumental functions. Is it a primary group or the secondary group? Okay, very good. It is the secondary group. How about this one? They can provide you with emotional support if you are facing a crisis. Are these the people that you have strong ties with or the people that you have weak ties with? Okay, well done. Of course, those are the people with strong ties. Very good. And last question. This is any number of people with similar norms, values, and expectations who interact with one another on a daily basis. Does this refer to networks or groups? Okay, well done. The correct answer is groups. And I hope that you have answered the questions that were flashed here correctly. If you haven't answered all those questions correctly, you may view the video again, or maybe you could also drop some questions in our Google Classroom stream or through a private message so that we can address it in the next video or maybe um, in a separate meeting. That sums up our discussions about how society is organized. Basically, we have talked about the different groups and networks as well as network homophily. If you still want to learn more about the topic, you may visit the links that are flashed on the screen today for further readings. And I believe that's all for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for lending your time and watching this video. I hope you learned something today and see you again in our next lesson. Bye.